Management Research.
Hello and welcome to the Management Research podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eugene. Hello and welcome to the next episode in my mini-series dedicated to organizational well-being or to burnout prevention. And the whole mini-series is actually building around our book with Yevgen, where we wrote about the application of process management tools for burnout prevention. In our recent episodes, 2 episodes, we started talking about the tools that can help you understand the early indications of burnout. And again, it's interesting not to look at the early indications of burnout because usually it is too late, it means burnout is already there. But it is about understanding what depletes your energy within an organization. What are the emotional, mental job demands that deplete your mental, emotional energy? And in this episode, we're going to talk about the visual process management. The notion of visual process management is actually very, very simple, and I find it as a more interesting tool to apply in the field of organizational psychology. Imagine the situation that you have the shift work and there are 2 or 3 employees who work at the same place at the same table, and each time, let's say after 8 hours of work, they have to leave the place and go home. The next one comes and starts working at the same table, continuing working at the same table. And let's assume that for your work you need a hammer, you need a pencil, you need a screwdriver, you need the scissors. So very simple, and it is important that all the tools that you need for the work are in place. But how can you be sure that you didn't forget to put something there, that the next one who will come will not just discover that he or she is missing scissors and she or he needs to find them, and otherwise the work will not continue. He will not be able to continue working. And in process management, it has been resolved in a very simple way. Let's assume we install a big black panel on the wall with white silhouettes. The silhouette for the hammer, the silhouette for the pencil, a silhouette for the screwdriver, and the silhouette for scissors. And white and black is very easy to see, so if I see from somewhere that I have some white pieces on the blackboard, then I will know that the tool is not there, because if I install my hammer exactly to the place of the silhouette, I will not see the white one, I will just see the hammer. So it is immediately visible to the employee who is leaving the place, to the employee who is coming to the working place, and to the manager that something is missing, that the tool is not in place. So very, very simple and easy to trace and easy for everybody to see. And our idea was, how can we apply something like this to organizational psychology? And we have several tools. And actually, some of the tools come from us, but some of the tools come from our students, because we gave it as a homework to our students to find out how people feel using some visual process management tools. And I just want to tell you some of the ideas. The first one, I think it is from Yevgen from me. And the idea is that we install in every lift where you have usually the buttons from E, which is the ground floor in Germany, up to, let's say, 5 or 4. Our building has at the moment 4 floors. But we do 3 rows of the same buttons. So we have like 3 times E, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And once you have them with a happy smiley, once you have them with a neutral smiley, and once you have them with an unhappy smiley. And people, if they have to move from one floor to another one, they just need to press the button that corresponds not only to the floor, but actually to the way how they feel. In this event, we can learn a lot of things. First of all, we can find out how people feel when they come to work. And you can just simply collect information anonymously, how people feel when they start at the floor E, which is the ground floor in Germany or in Austria, and how they feel when they move to the 2nd floor or to the 3rd floor. So actually, how they feel when they start working. It will be interesting to know how people feel when they have to move between different floors. At the Frankfurt School, for instance, I think the highest floor was the one where the rector sits and the top management of the school sits. Interesting to know what was the mood of people who moved from any other floor to this top management floor, and how was the mood when they moved from the top management floor to another one. You can even trace how the mood is changing. And interestingly, as some of the floors are assigned to certain functions like top management, bookkeeping. At the MCI, bookkeeping is sitting in the second floor. And I think the lawyer is sitting in the second floor, but also the law and management faculty also sitting in the second floor. So more or less we can know what happens if people move between the floors. What if they have this walking break in the fourth floor? Or what if they have the lectures in the third floor? So more or less we can even trace how people felt when they went there and how on average people felt when they moved away from the fourth floor to the ground floor. Very simple tool. It is a kind of a lot of fun. It's anonymized because it's not filmed. We don't know. We'll just know on average how people feel when they enter the building, when they move between the floors. But I think with sufficient data, you can find out what actually is happening within your organization and how people feel when they move between different floors, especially if, as in a Frankfurt school, they have more floors. And some floors are just assigned. One floor is faculty floor. Next floor is the bookkeeping and infrastructure floor. And top management floor is also there. So just when you know it, it gives you additional richness of information and you can find out how people feel. What is important? Because if you notice that people feel not so happy when they come to work, then you know that something happens not at your work. It can be other problems that people have to deal with. Maybe families, maybe something big happening in your country. In Ukraine we have war, so most likely people may come after the night attack, rocket attack, where they slept not so much. You can know how people feel when they leave the work, and then you will know whether the work is exhausting or not exhausting. In a very simplified manner, we just know, was it a positive smiley or a negative smiley or neutral smiley? So there can be many reasons. We don't ask them about the emotional exhaustion. We just ask about, on average, how they feel in a very simplified manner. But even this will give you a lot of information to find out what happens. Maybe just a seasonal, maybe just a week of exams when people feel not so good, when students also come to all the offices to complain or to ask for something. But this will give you information how the mood or emotional climate and organization is evolving. Of course, if you want, you can make it even more detailed and you can add more information, like not only the level of pleasantness, but maybe the level of dominance or independence, how people feel, or maybe the level of arousal. And this will help you already understand what kind of emotions people feel based on the circumplex model that works with the affect and arousal, two scales that show you how calm or how aroused you are and how pleasant, how unpleasant you feel. And most recent version is also with dependence, independence. I hope it was interesting. I have more ideas from our students that I'm going to talk about in the next episode. Wish you all the best, good luck with understanding how your organization feels, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.